If your blood runs orange and blue, this is the pod for you. You're listening to Orange and Blue Bloods, hosted by EJ Stewart and Tommy Beer. Let's get to it, New York.
I want to wrap the show quickly talking about this important offseason the Knicks have, with at least one Eastern Conference GM thinking that the team could be willing to move on from its defensive anchor in order to land a coveted star. So the NBA exec talked to NBA writer Sean Devaney of Heavy.com. He says that the Knicks could use Mitchell Robinson as an asset in a bigger trade. The GM said they have felt out the market on him because he is an old school kind of center, good rim protector and rebounder, but he does not want to shoot past 3 or 4 feet, and he's not much of a passer. The Bulls have some interest, but it's doubtful that would come back up. Dallas too, but again, there are no pieces that match up. There's not much of a market there for him, so he is their guy. They could move him along if it is part of a bigger package, though. So Mitch is heading into the second year of a 4-year, $60 million contract that he signed this past offseason. Tommy, do you think the Knicks will look or should look to shop Mitchell Robinson this offseason?
Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't prioritize it. I think Mitch Robinson is relatively adequately paid. I think, when he's healthy and playing well, he's obviously a major contributor. We saw his, what he brings to the table in the Cleveland series when he played arguably the best basketball of his career. And then we saw the flip side when Bam Adebayo thoroughly outplayed him in the Miami series. And as noted, which is kind of what we all know, he's a limited kind of lane in terms of how he can impact the game. The fact that his free throw shooting continues to get worse 3, 4, 5 years into his career, obviously a concern. The health injuries, the durability concerns are still there. If anything, you might be selling high now because he's able to get through a regular season relatively unscathed. It seems like the next 2-month injuries around the corner with Mitch Rob at all times. The flip side of the coin is what you're getting in him. He fits in the current roster construct because you never have to run plays for him. The best offensive rebounder in the league. There's solid, terrific value there in that specific skill. So, but there's also guys comparable to him, Nick Claxton and Jared Allen and Clint Capella. And these guys are, I don't want to say he's imminently replaceable, but you can get the kind of those high flying athletic centers. They're out there, maybe not in the same class as Mitch Rob, but there's that type of thing as well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that it's not something that I would be saying, hey, we got to get him out of New York. Like you can't win with Mitchell Robinson. Like,
right.
He helped them. He was one of the most important players in that first series against Cleveland. His ability to dominate the glass and dominate Jared Allen was one of the reasons why the Knicks were able to dominate the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I'm not necessarily looking to shop Mitchell Robinson. I do think that some of his deficiencies, were clear as day in that series against the Miami Heat. The fact that you don't have a 5 that can stretch the floor was allowing the Heat to clog the paint and play a lot of zone. The fact that he's such a bad free throw shooter at times allowed the Heat to just foul him endlessly in the series to avoid easy baskets. So he has some holes in his game. He has some weaknesses. And I think that's something that the Knicks will have to consider when they come into this offseason. They say, hey, when we look at other options, is there a better fit potentially at the 5, even if we lose a little bit of defense, even if we lose a little bit of rebounding, but maybe we get a more reliable scorer, a more reliable floor spacer. Like, I think all of these things are on the table, but I think Mitch played too well in that Cleveland series to just say, okay, it's time for him to get out of here. Now, if you're telling me you have a clear option that is a better option, then I would have no problem getting rid of him. But right now, I would say that I would pump the brakes on necessarily shopping Mr. Robinson, if that makes sense.
Agreed. There's no reason you don't have to be motivated to do it. But the other thing to keep in mind is Isaiah Hartenstein can fill in at center as well. So there's other options there as well.
And that's kind of why I think I can see the Knicks looking around and saying, hey, this GM said that there really is a market for Mitch, which is not that surprising, but that maybe he could be an asset in a trade for a star. I can see the Knicks doing that. I can see the Knicks saying, hey, Isaiah Hartenstein showed that he could do the job as a starting center. If you do get a star in here, and you downgrade slightly with Isaiah Hartenstein as your starter, and maybe Jericho Sims comes in, now he's your backup. Right. I can see the Knicks doing that. And I think that's why this Eastern Conference GM said what he said, and that's something I think is on the table. But I do think that if you're talking about just saying, hey, who wants Mitchell Robinson? What can we get for him? I think that the Knicks, I wouldn't necessarily be willing to just throw that out there. That would be a different conversation.
Agreed.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. If you want to see more of our videos, be sure to check out our playlist and let us know what you think in the comments below.
Also, don't forget to follow us on social media to stay up to date on our latest podcast ventures. Links will be in the descriptions. And as always, thanks for watching, and we will see you in our next video.